Welcome to TCH Live. We are here at TCH Social in beautiful Austin, Texas. I'm Kyle Frisbee. I'm here with Uncle T. We have a exciting final table of the Trailblazer Tour here, 40K guaranteed, well exceeded that. And we have a great lineup at this final table. I actually played this tournament myself with several of these players. So this will be a lot of fun to watch.
Be fun. And to tell you the truth, having our largest tournament single flight, I think ever, certainly since we moved into this building, with 343 players in the pool.
Yeah, the club was definitely buzzing last night.
It
And
was.
we're starting off with some fireworks here. Alex already all in for his 2.2 plus million.
Wow. Welcome to the table, Alex.
Yeah, Alex played
it
with
down.
him yesterday in this very tournament. Very aggressive, great player. He's had some great results in the tournaments here at TCH so far this year. Looking at the chip leaders, we have Wu with just over 4 million. Andrew just behind him, nearly a tie at the top. His table mates with Andrew as well yesterday. Another great local player.
Yeah, very familiar face to all of us.
Yeah,
Glad to see him make this.
Yeah, he took down a previous Trailblazer Tour tournament here at TCH a couple weeks ago for about 16K. So
as we get another all in. Short stack this time, just having 750K pushes all in.
Yeah, blinds 100, 200K at the top right of your screen.
Oh, Alex is
and
in the count, which is a little bit of a slow roll, but I understand. You want to know what you're. He's probably also gauging whether he wants to jam here to kind of isolate.
Has players behind also, so
he
doesn't hurt to posture a little bit. Say somebody wakes up with jacks, maybe you get action.
The other side of it. He did jam it. Wants to isolate. I guess he doesn't want to play an ace. TJ with the jacks.
And exactly, the scenario I accidentally described. He's got the jacks here, and he's going to put it all in. And
he's got Alex covered by a little bit.
Way behind, huge pot. Oh, and Ted with ace-queen suited. What is going on? Second hand of the final table.
He did fold it. So that just jam with the queen removal and the kings is just dominated here. Otherwise, it's kind of a pair over pair. Alex with huge amounts of equity, as you can see.
You very rarely see somebody pre-flop with, in this dominating of a position, just 2% equity for just jam and TJ.
Spades, which just jam has, but that's dead already. And of course, we just have.
That'll do it.
Terrible run out for TJ. Not much he could do, though. So Alex takes down a huge hand, and I'm guessing will jump very high up the charts. The rest of the table super excited about a double elimination.
Yeah, he'll jump into the chip lead somewhat commandingly. I believe the next biggest stack is going to be about 4 million. That's going to be Wu and Andrew still.
That's too much.
So Alex, what a dream spot. Second hand of the final table.
Wow. Well, that was a kind of a huge opener, was it not?
Yeah, it couldn't be a lot hotter of a hand to start off with here. Sometimes it just comes to you. It was Alex's day, or at least on that hand.
Yeah.
TJ in a world of hurt here. He's just going to have a little less than one big blind left, but we have seen stranger things happen. Quad and Ted also under 10 bigs. And we'll go ahead and show you the payouts here. So we did have 343 in entries, 140 buy-in, $100 add-on, so really a $240 tournament. And we've got almost 14K up top. As we flip back to the action, next player eliminated will win $13.90. Andrew here, very playable ace-queen suited. Had a great time with Andrew chatting it up at our table. Good to see him make it all the way here to the final table.
Yeah, I had put down an elimination there, but actually just a tiny bit behind.
And Wu actually is going to outflop Andrew here with just the King 5. Did choose to go ahead and defend King 5 suited from the big blind, somewhat standard.
And he just
Andrew c-bets and quick call from Wu.
I mean, and that's not going to bother him much. Now flopping open-ended. He's not worried about much right now.
Yeah, it does give Andrew a couple of outs here. Yeah. He's got, it's 3 to be exact. Needs a 5.
5 would be a very ugly card. No worries.
So clean run out here for Wu. See if he goes for additional value. He's going to check and I think be pretty happy to show this down.
Yeah, with the kicker problems he's got, he's probably very pleased to have King 5 win. Didn't want to see the spades. Did not.
And these small things can go unnoticed, but Andrew's check back there, a lot of people would be pretty tempted to try to buy that pot when check 2 on the river. Definitely would have been torching those chips. So nice check back by Andrew.
Yep.
See, we got a growing number of you watching us here. Feel free to hop in the chat and certainly comment on the action or ask Uncle T or I a question. Happy to weigh in.
So how'd you do in this tournament?
Unfortunately, I bubbled.
Bubbled?
Not the absolute bubble boy, but 43 cash, and I finished 55th. So got close there. Got it in good. Ace-Jack suited was no good all in pre-flop versus Jack-8 suited.
Wu raising. This is going to be probably a jam. It looks like he's thinking, yep, he's going to jam it for quad. He is jamming 1.6 into an 800K pot, 2x the pot, obviously.
Yeah, King Queen suited. A great hand to wake up blind versus blind here.
Yeah. This is kind of a classic move by Wu here. Everybody folds, and you get down to just blind versus blind, so you take a stab at it.
Got the big stack. Quad can't really play back at you unless he has a hand as he has in this particular spot.
Yeah, I think he folds here. I mean, he's got to put his big blind on the ace, or at the very least a king, very much like he has a pretty good king. Maybe a small pair that he's got overs to, but he gives it up.
I think he's probably just saving face to some extent there.
It's time to think.
Yeah, it's just too much of a percentage of his chips at that juncture to call off with Jack-7 suited. But don't hate the raise either. The big blind just woke up with a superior hand.
Well, the first 5 hands we've had three jams, actually multiple jam on hand 2, so it's been actiony so far.
Yeah, this being a single day tournament, and again, aces now for Alex.
This is like Kevin Y on Wednesday night in the cash game. He just got the deck right between the eyes.
Yeah, I think we're being spoiled with premiums early here, folks. So Alex will raise it up to 2.5x the big blind.
Doesn't have a lot that can call him. 9-7 might be tempted, but he gives it up. 6-4, small blind.
Looks like Alex will be just taking down the blinds this go around. Not insignificant though. Back to
single gapper, suited single gapper. This is tempting against a big hand.
Yeah, it just has to flick in 300K. So I got a little ahead of the action there. So we will go to a flop. Druda with the big hand buster. 8 in the window. Oh, and
Oh,
what a flop.
Lord. Oh, my
Two
gosh.
pair dream flop for Drew to
Bing, bing.
see how he decides to play this. There is a
Yeah,
flush
this
draw,
is.
potential straight draws.
I mean, when you play a hand like this, other than the queen being a spade, you this is as good as it gets. You can get trips, but you're just so dang pleased at this point because you're almost sure your opponent has got a big pair or ace king, ace queen suited. He hopes he has a queen.
Pretty small bet here from Alex. Druda has really the decision is, do I go for the rest of it now or do I call once and try to get? He's going to
He
go for
does
it all
jam it.
now.
Yeah, and I get it. Both of these players were just so happy to think that their opponent had a queen.
And can't really imagine a scenario here where Alex doesn't put it in,
And
and
he
he
does
does.
call.
He will have some outs, not dead.
He announces, "You won't believe what I have," and gets away with it. Wow!
Clean run out for Drew.
$5 million hand. So you're happy to have the aces right up until you're not, huh?
Yeah, just that
That was like a
very
cash game
unfortunate
hand.
flop there for Alex. I was already giving him the pot pre-flop, and then Druda just casually flops two pair
As soon
and
as I
doubles.
saw that 8-6 suited, I was like, I'd have a hard time not calling that relatively small pre-flop bet.
Go ahead and remind everybody of the payout. So 13-8 and change up top. Next player eliminated. Cash just under 1,400. So big ICM pressure doesn't really begin until around fourth or fifth. But obviously, all these players going to be doing their best to ladder up.
Yeah, we're actually it'll be eighth place, 1770 for the next eliminated player, and that's not bad. But when you put in the time that this tournament took, you're not thinking about that. You're happy to be there,
Yeah,
but you're not happy to leave early.
you're not here at the final table to 4 or 5x your buy-in. TJ all in.
Yeah,
Fortunate
short
enough
stack.
yeah. Does have a chance to have a little life here and the best hand, at least pre-flop.
It's kind of how it was in our PLO final table a couple of days ago. You just have some short stacks that have to get it in fairly quick.
And TJ will flop top pair. Gutter for Druda. Alex with middle pair. A little something for everybody, but TJ way out in front here. Oh, and the king on the turn
What the
for
heck?
Alex.
Well, folks, this has been come from behind almost every hand. The Kings did run clean, but nothing else has.
Alex.
Oh,
And the
my
ace on the river.
gosh. Oh, my gosh. This is just stinky as you can get.
The old suck, resuck, suck.
Yeah, mega suck. Yeah, that's
the
mega
trip-
suckage.
The leader changed every street of that hand.
Oh, my gosh. And TJ's just got to be – his heart's got to be going right now because he might have thought he was behind. And Alex is going to take a stab at this. Not a big bet. Basically 1/3 pot.
And TJ, he will have
Rolling it slowly.
650K now. So one more double and he's
Give
pretty much
Alex
back in
credit. He
business.
didn't even – that's two bad beats he's taken. He didn't even flinch. Wow.
Yeah,
So eliminations are going to be hard to come by. This TJ
big pots, apparently not, but eliminations.
yeah.
Yeah. Been a very action table here. Talks about a few of the players. I believe I've played with all of them except for TJ and
Yeah.
maybe Ted
Yeah.
or Druda. I'm not certain about, but Mixon in the 5 seed, well-known local
And TJ
tournament specialist.
goes right all in right away. Still short stack.
Wakes up with
Totally
ace queen
understandable.
again. Definitely good.
Oh,
quad.
goodness. What is this dealer doing? Somebody give that man a bouquet of flowers. This is
Yeah,
like
tell
a
you what.
commentator's dream here. not necessarily for the players, but he is just throwing out the smoke. And of course, he's going to ship that 2.1 immediately. And TJ's already all in. Druda's, I guess he's dreaming of better cards. 8-7. Alex gives that up pretty quick, and nobody else. Obviously, we're going to go heads up here.
And it looks ugly, but I mean, TJ's still with 35%.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it seems on the
Oh yeah, it
surface if you
is.
don't know. But
when you see how dominated you are, it's the worst feeling in the world. Statistically,
it is significantly better than pair over pair.
Backdoor clubs. I'd come front door. Oy.
Clubs do not get there, and we do
just a
have our
little
first
sweat.
elimination.
So TJ's going to go out having earned 1,770 in 8th place. Wow. Okay. So, there's a dealer here, KJ, that I love. I call him the assassin because he'll sit at a final table and I'll say, KJ, what's your goal? And he'll say, 3. And he's talking about how many players he eliminates because he just has a gift
in one down.
Yeah, in one down he's going to knock
basically
out
one every 10 minutes.
KJ, I think we're got a rival here. We already have 2 eliminations. Could have really had TJ eliminated before we did, just over on the king's hand. So, but that's how it goes in tournament poker.
Yeah, when you've got 3 and change big blinds, 100% of players are going broke with ace queen there.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a worse if you don't go broke if somehow you fold.
Well, we know somebody that's close to us that would have folded his ace queen. Of course, the action ran out, so the queens came over the top. But
Alex with 8s here. Boy, Alex just can't get a breather. He's in every hand, it seems.
Well, he is dressed right because it's been raining cards on him.
We'll open the pot from the button here. And blinds have gone up 125, 250. And that'll win Alex 225, no insignificant amount, just stealing the blinds and the big blind ante.
No, I mean he's pretty solidly in the second position, just right behind Druda. And we've got these first 4, pretty much what we had in the last live stream that we did, the PLO, where you had 4 or 5 that were solidly at the top, and then you had the short stacks thereafter. Not too much middling. Nobody came into this table as a mega stack leader.
Quad now with 10s. Had queens just a couple of hands ago.
Yeah, and had the king, queen of spades before that. He's gotten some good hands.
Played with Quad yesterday. He was at my first table.
Cowboy fan.
And my last table.
No, yeah.
How much is fourth place? Do you need help with that? Can I buy him for fourth place?
Like he's going to make, I started saying 650, but it's 550, $550,000 raise. Druda's going to give up his uselessness.
Just a hair over 2x.
Alex got rid of the Jack 10. Of course, he would have been dominated.
Mixing out of there with Queen 7 and to Ted with the suited robbery.
So takes it down with the 10s. You know what I always say? Jacks are crappy and 10s are just crappy jacks.
Crappy jacks, yeah.
So anytime I win a hand with them, I'm happy, even if it's pre-flop.
Yeah, I mean, with 10s there, I think you're perfectly happy taking down the 625 in the middle.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I would be just simply because I know that in my case, you expect 1 overcard. I'm going to get 3.
Especially before we get some eliminations here, because the pay jumps will become more significant, obviously, as we move forward here. But
Druda with my least favorite hand in poker. Gives it up.
That is an ugly hand.
It's so ugly.
Mixon been quiet so far, sitting around 2.5 million.
Ted with almost my favorite hand in poker. It's like he's going to raise it up. No, he just calls 250. It's hard. I'm still getting used to these chip increments. That
Yeah,
obviously the 25 Ks.
Yeah, the red 25Ks and then the one bluish 100K there.
Wu, who we know very, very well, taking advantage of his position there.
Yeah, I've played a lot of poker with Wu.
Pushes him up over the,
aggressive.
into the chip lead. Yeah, he can be aggressive, especially if he with floaters.
Yeah, worth noting, going back to Mixon's stack, he's around 2.5 million. At this blind level, it's only 3 orbits of chips. You kind of, you're sort of middle of the pack, and you might think you can be kind of comfortable, but really you've got to get something going pretty soon, or else you're going to be eaten alive by these blinds and antes.
Yeah, you're going to be blinded down to scary, really, in about an orbit and a half.
Yeah, just hate getting blinded down. The number one thing is just avoid getting blinded down where you lose all your rejam fold equity.
Yeah.
And we got a fold here from Andrew with a force, which actually at tournament final table is very shallow like this. Not very, very different than a cash game play, but arguably the right thing to do.
Dirty diaper into the trash can. What are you betting? King 8 or Ace 4?
Wu seems to be a lucky man, so there's the 8.
One club for as soon as it's in the window, you just called for it.
Yeah, backdoor
Backdoors
flush
for
draws.
Yeah.
Nothing to be terribly excited about. Alex going to need an ace or running hearts. Just check here. Queen on the turn doesn't change anything other than an overcard to the flop. Wu bets it, and this will be interesting to see what Alex does here.
Yeah, kind of a small bet like that. It's hard to imagine just over the blind size. You're asking yourself, this looks like a value bet or queen with a bad kicker. It's hard to imagine how he could get queen with a bad kicker to this point, but he was the small blind, so probably going through his mind, hey, he got in fairly cheap, just had to call my 500. So, it's just a 375 call. Maybe you do that with queen. Problem I always have with those, when I start thinking those thoughts about, okay, he hit his card, but he bet like he has a bad kicker, is if there's a board like that one out there, yeah, does he have the queen 5, suited, or does he have the queen 9 suited, which is much more likely?
Yep.
Now you've got lots of negative thoughts in your head about whether you're dominated.
Dead to 10 jack even.
Yes, exactly.
Here's Andrew with queen jack off. I believe he has bet. Oh, and a jam from Mixon with the dominating ace jack. And Ted here wakes up with 10s.
Yep, and the short stack is going to go in. He doesn't have any problem.
He's going to have to
playing
go with
tens.
it. And Wu with aces.
Oh my gosh, Wu's like, this is a dream.
What?
I can't get this in fast enough.
What
He's
a
going to take
setup
a little
here.
time.
Wu already in the chip lead, wakes up with aces on the button.
And
with
he just Mixon and Wu Ted have got to just feel like, oh crap.
Andrew's very easily going to be able to get away with it,
Yeah,
away
of course,
from
yeah.
this, but Mixon already all in. Ted,
Chip leader just jams. Yeah.
this is going to be very bad news
my
for
gosh.
Mixon.
Folks, we had a lull of about 5 hands.
Yeah. We played regular poker for just a second,
Just
and we're
long
right
enough
back
for-
to chaos.
Yeah. We're back on the front of our chair.
So Mixon's going to need a lot of help here. Obviously, a 10 for Ted. Unintentional rhyme there. 6-6 king helps no one. There's a
Yeah.
couple of clubs, but Wu has ace of clubs.
Now that they're all pretty much drawing.
Needed
Ted.
a 10, and that's it.
So we're going to have a double elimination, Mixon and Ted, and Wu is going to go way into the lead. Mixon's going to go out in 6th place, and Ted's going to go out in 7th place.
Probably most of you watching are aware, but the reason Mixon gets the extra spot up is he had more chips to start the hands.
So, yeah, 2160 going. Sorry, I almost said that wrong. 2160 going to Ted. Short stack, laddered up a little bit. 6th place going to Mixon. He's going to make 2570.
Not bad. 10x you're buying.
Yeah, yeah.
Really unbelievable. Both of them. That saved Drew.
And none of the remaining players upset to see a double elimination there.
No, and Wu's
After that,
super happy with the start of this stream.
Yeah, Wu.
I wanted to
Wu probably wondering, why can't I always run this good? Just have people ripping their stacks into me when I hold aces.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got it through with aces. I mean, you always know you're going all in, but also know you're up against 2 players, which is not in cash games is really not a fun feeling.
Yeah,
3 players
it's really
is like
not,
a kiss of death. You're just ready for somebody to say, "Oh, I got 2 pair." Oh, I hit my set. 9s and 7-5 for Alex. Alex playing the widest range he had. Of course, he's in the big blind, and they didn't raise it.
Yeah, a little bit interesting move by Drew to just a limp pre-flop, blind versus blind with the 9s. Maybe potentially was trying to trap Alex into raising, and Alex.
Yeah, he did that same thing with. What hand was it where he played his? Was it 10s fairly slowly? Oh no, it was the aces. He played his aces fairly slowly.
He's going to go ahead and bet his second pair. 1 overcard here, and Alex has picked up a few outs.
Yeah, he's open-ended.
Got 8 outs, needs an ace or 6.
The hearts may give Drew a little bit of a pause. I'm sorry, Alex, a pause. Still getting these names correctly. I know too many of these guys regular names, so gotta figure this out.
Alex will go ahead and lay it down. Having those 450K chips is a little more valuable probably at this stage than trying to hit your 8-outer.
Yeah.
You did that?
So after the
Wait,
double
why?
elimination,
How?
we got Andrew,
Oh, you slid it
the
over? Oh.
sudden short stack, but we don't have any super duper low stacks as we did to start. Everybody with around, or Andrew with just a tad under 10 bigs.
So I got to tell a funny story on Kirk. So you noticed he put the trophy out just now. That was Kirk, our buddy, TCH, great guy, employee. Took some great pictures takes great pictures for our
Social media.
and everything. Underneath that trophy is a very long split in the felt.
Oh,
The other night on the PLO
No.
tournament, he brought the trophy down and then went to move it over for the picture, and
The
it had a
corner
little
sliced it.
corner, like I don't know what you would call it, a little barb or we used to call it when you were grinding off a hard edge, and it just
burr?
A burr. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Thank you, brother. And it just laid the felt open.
oh no.
And funny, Tim was sitting next to him about to take the picture with his trophy, and he just threw up his hands like I never touched it. But it's a brand new felt, so we're going to give him a little bit of a hard time, but he's too good a guy to give too much of a hard time about it. But
I do love that blue felt.
it's great. It looks great. The table looks great.
Quad here, ace 7 suited, under the gun.
So now we have a trophy covering up our one blemish on this beautiful table, and it's a beautiful trophy.
And Quad will flick in one of those green chips worth 500K.
Okay. See, you got to explain these chip colors to me because I never get this deep in a tournament, so it's totally unfamiliar territory for me.
And Andrew's going to rip his king jack here. Woo, likely out of there with queen 8 suited. Is sitting on 10 million chips, so he can afford it.
Yeah, you may think 1.7. I can afford to gamble a little bit here, and I think my cards are live.
Yeah, if he could see the other holdings, he would definitely make this call. He's got a third of the equity almost.
Yeah, this is pretty much a horse race across the board.
Problem is, you're just dominated with a weak queen so often.
Much. Yeah, you're doing card removal thoughts in your head right now. Okay,
Yeah.
that really.
Look at that.
Somebody's got ace queen, king queen, even queen jack. It's too frequent.
And Quad here he is ahead, but he has got to be so concerned about all the aces that dominate him, which is.
And this is too much of his stack, frankly. He's, this is just would really hamstring him.
Yeah.
Do you really want to face a bigger ace?
He'd only have about 5 bigs, and just so much of Andrew's range dominates his ace. So nice move there by Andrew. Picks up 1 million chips without having to see a flop.
Well, those of you that are in the chat and chatting away, hey.
ADHD Poker, welcome. All is well.
Bored people on a Saturday night. I'm sure they're sitting at our table watching and playing right now. So come on down. Call us up on YouTube, TCH Social Live, TCH Poker Live, and watch us and listen to my buddy and I enjoy this table, play cards. Lots of room out there in cash. It's a good night. Lots of people in the building having a good time. And the Mega Stack is going on as I hear Casey in the background announce the Mega Stack tournament.
Yeah, this is.
These are the sacrifices I make. I would definitely be in that tournament if I wasn't here with you guys.
No problem, AD. We love it.
Yeah, thanks for hopping in the chat.
We are getting a lot of opportunities in the last couple of weeks as Quad takes it down in the big line position, playing it strongly. We've had a lot of opportunity to do commentary. We're kind of once a week guys with our friend Sammy. She was wonderful the other night calling the PLO tournament. I got to call a little bit of it because Will was on the final table for a while, for about an hour and a half. So it's basically, it's happy commentary city for me right now. And the way that I've been running in cash games, it's good for me to be in a small room,
to be away from
looking
the table
at
for a
poker rather than playing poker.
Well, and it's just such a nice change of pace too. The tournament final tables, obviously, just a completely different form of poker than a deep stack cash game. So, great change of pace.
Well, Jack, now we know who you are. That's as I was saying, that was just really hard because so many times you're facing a bigger ace.
Yeah,
and too much of your stack, 3/4 of your stack. Yeah, it's too hard.
Yeah, I'm folding there too.
Yep, I'm folding like I say, I'm folding like a cheap lawn chair.
That's a new Uncle T-ism. I don't think I've heard you say that before.
No, I say the same things over and over again. So the fact that I haven't said it up till now, it's amazing.
Middle pair here for Druda on a pretty connected board. Gutter ball for Alex, along with King High. So 60-40 equity here.
Alex, a big fan of the movie. What was the movie with Bruce Willis where he had superpowers after he almost died? Unbreakable.
For some reason, you always
pick a movie
to think that I'm going to know movie references.
Lawrence Fishburne.
I'm going to have to go watch like 200 movies to get caught up with you.
Yeah, well, I'm a movie file. I'm a cinephile.
I just want to say hello to my friends.
Yeah. So we want to talk to you, but
okay. After. Don't leave, all right?
Druda makes the call, so 2 million, big pot brewing here.
Yeah, a lot bigger than these hands would warrant.
Alex is going to slow down and check back here.
And just an absolute blank for everybody. So the king is got. I'm sorry, the queen. Oh, I'm sorry, 5.
Yeah,
Damn.
the pair of 5s.
Somebody get these
Druda,
ice
I
checks.
presumably either block bets or checks and hangs on for dear life here. And Alex with a teeny bit of showdown value with king high, but
Dude,
can't feel great about it.
it's like I'll go to showdown with somebody if I think they're just unconscious, in a coma, or recently deceased. I'm never.
He'll check back, and Druda's pair of 5s is going to hold that call on the flop.
That's a great pot for that hand. I mean, a
Yeah.
$1.2 million break in. That's pretty good. As you can see now, Wu with those big hands back to back, pretty much 10 million. A double elimination got him there. And then the next competitor, 60% of his stack, 57% of his stack, Quad at 2.88, Andrew at 2.75, and Alex at 2.65. So pretty much a distant first, a good second, and then everybody
three
else
tied
together in a pack.
3 basically tied it with less than 10 bigs.
Yeah.
Only person that's somewhat comfortable at the table is Wu. Everybody else knows the next spot they play could kind of make or break them. Quad here, queen 9 on the button.
Looks like he's reaching for chips, and a lot of chips. Maybe just doing an inventory. Yeah, this is on the button. Why not put a little pressure on, raise
Just
it
so
up?
valuable to steal
Yeah.
the blinds at this point. Going to
Yep.
win 750K if you
Yep.
can just get folds here.
Exactly.
You're going to risk 650 to win 750. The math certainly works out, but and Alex here with rags in the big blind.
Yep. He's gonna get a little TV time and make him raise quad his heart rate by maybe 5 beats a minute, and then he's gonna fold. After starting off hot, Alex is kind of cooled and it's gone from essentially chip lead to now the bottom of the pack, although it's not. You know, again, a double up, you're just right in the middle of it. So with the blinds and then obviously doubling up, you're going to be back in the middle of it. But right now, he's at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, in the short term here, Alex has not run good. He's just seemed to kind of have second best
Yeah,
a lot, but
yeah,
still alive.
yeah. And with the 300, 150 blinds, it's tough to sit there counting down your blind numbers in your stack. So.
It's going to fold over to the button here. We'll see momentarily, and that's going to be Druda with a ace-jack suited.
Like this hand with Druda, but he's a little dominated here. He can't. Again, this is things to think about when now he's really dominated. Oh, Alex may take this opportunity with this pot being essentially his equal to his stack to jam this. This is an awfully good hand.
If he jams I'm sure he knows though. If he jams, Druda is essentially priced into call. So
Yes.
does he want to go with queen high? And he does.
Yeah, I couldn't see. I was exactly thinking the same thing you are. I've just put this pot at a size where I'm going to get 2 callers now, or get a caller because of the pot size. How do I avoid it though? Because this hand is too good. So you said ace queen, but you meant queen jack, right? There was.
Oh, did I say
nobody?
ace queen?
Yeah, nobody
Oh,
else
no,
is
I
in
meant,
the hand.
queen jack.
It threw me off
Yeah.
a little bit. I thought, did I miss a? That's. But, we had a little bit of a delay in our.
But both players with the same hand, just different
Yeah.
suits here.
Yeah. That's why I said that what I said about Drew being dominated with Queen Jack.
Oh, when you
Threw
said
me
that, I was
off
like,
a
why
little
is he
You
saying?
gotta have heart to him.
We're all aligned here.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
basically
Four shot.
just got to avoid.
We're on hand 19. I'm going to pull a muscle if we keep having hands like
And
this.
this is how big the blinds are. Actually, even after chopping this pot, they'll add a decent amount to their stacks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, 2 hearts.
Free roll
Free roll.
for Drew to.
Oh,
It gets there.
Good playing with
Golly, guys.
Brutal run
Oh.
out for Alex.
That's oh, sorry.
Oh, Alex just ran
Damn.
horribly there at the end.
Really, the whole
Unfortunately.
final table did not go Alex's way.
Yeah, it really
That's
did.
no fault of
Starting off
his.
as a
You're
big
the
stack
lucky
and
one,
just
dude.
getting
Yeah,
getting
you don't
some
wanna
great
chop,
hands
man?
early.
You're the lucky guy.
You didn't want to chop.
Wow.
So
Somebody used the
This is
C
too big
word.
blind over there, bro.
Jeez.
You didn't even look.
So Alex goes out
Too big blind.
in
Casual.
5th place,
Casual, too big blind.
getting
No, to my
31-10.
table, like it was like 4.
Not a bad little
Yeah,
pal,
like
but I'm
150.
sure coming into this table, he
1.5.
was thinking
Oh, that's
much
even better.
bigger
Jeez.
That's
numbers.
even better.
Yeah, Alex is a really good young player.
Yeah, he is.
He's a beast at cash and obviously tournaments as well. And variance was not on his side at this final table,
was-
but
that was
nice
dirty.
nice score, over $3,000 in his bankroll. Four-handed now, so this is going to move quick with these short stacks. They're going to be blinding out very quickly if they don't make a move. And 2 pair here for quad. Dream flop. Woo with just king high, however. See how quad wants to play this.
First down the middle.
Forehead in chat says brutal. That is the perfect
Admit.
word for Alex's exit there.
So I have a particular opinion about this King 10 hand, and I won't. Yeah, as Wu gives it up. So I'm asking this question, asking the chatters to appreciate everybody that's joined us tonight. This is Uncle T along with Whammo, TCH Social Live Austin. We're at the TGIF 40K guaranteed final table. A lot more than that, as we had over 340. Well, not over 343 players sign up. So, what hand do you see overplayed the most at the cash table? Like overvalued?
Ooh.
At the highest overvalue level. A lot of people will play certain hands, but as a whole, especially with recreational players.
That's such a good question. I'm going to have to think about it a moment. I think it used to be. It's changed. It's interesting over the years. I would have had a different answer maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Now I might say a hand like Queen Jack offsuit or Ace Queen. So kind of always in the running for that.
Yeah, I always see Ace Queen as a premium that should be played like you're holding a, holy hand grenade.
Yeah.
It's holy, but it's still a freaking hand grenade.
I think that the biggest mistake, and I mean, I guess you could pick any one of these hands, and all as well says Ace King. I mean, that's a great candidate as well, even though it is a premium. But
yeah, it's typically overvalued by that. I'm the older dude, so it's always to me overvalued because people play it like it's freaking aces.
And Andrew just making a pure move here. He's got 10-4 suited, and I'm sure hoping just to steal these blinds and get to 2.75.
I actually like this move a lot when you're this short stacked because you're suited, number one. Number two, your cards are always going to be live.
And it looks like Andrew will be getting this through. So nice
move.
Chip up for Andrew.
Play with him a lot. He's got some moves.
You're going to have to steal some blinds with them being this large with some raggedy hands so that you can just be around for when you do finally get a real hand. So,
yeah.
Nice move there by Andrew. Prevents himself from being on life support after the blinds come through, which he has now moved into the big blind.
So your final answer?
If I have to pick just one, I think I'm going to say
Queen Jack off.
Queen Jack offsuit.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I still think I see a lot of people overvaluing their non-suited connectors in general. Like, oh, you play 10-9, good for you.
Or
But I think King 10 suited is the most overvalued
that's
hand I
your
see.
number one. I
And
think
like you say, I don't think that was true 4 years ago.
yeah, 4 years ago, I think it would have been hands more like jacks.
Yeah. Which Warhead brought up.
Um,
Exactly. There's no right way to play him.
Still ace queen. Ace queen will always be in there.
Well, you know, you often tell yourself jacks are the fourth nuts pre-flop. But, you know,
But they're not when your opponent four bets you in a 1-2 game and their range is only aces, kings, queens sometimes, and ace
Yeah.
king suited.
yeah.
You're
Well,
basically
they're the hand I think people don't overvalue but get into the most trouble with. That, you know, like aces, they won't give them up in a cash game. But I
Right.
think pre-flop is somebody raises 45, you see a couple of people call and you're like, wow, I'm getting 3-1, and you'll call with king 10 suited.
yeah, if you nail that flop, you're going to stack somebody most of the time.
Yeah, 10-3 is hot, Jack. I noticed that myself. 10-3 and 10-4. 10 small. I've seen it numerous times.
Andrew now queen 5 in the small blind, and he will rip it. Ooh, and Woo wakes up with the dominating. Speaking of the devil, queen jack
I was
offsuit.
just about to say, you were about to say a dominating hand.
Although
but
in this
not a hand you
scenario, a
should play in
much
cash.
stronger holding.
Well, yeah, and especially, you know, four ways. This is a totally different game four ways. You know, I heard a commentator or a poker expert say once that you want to ramp up with each loss at the table of a player. You want to ramp your hand value up about 10%.
Yeah,
in your
yeah, it
head.
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you definitely cannot be playing the same ranges nine-handed as, in this case, four-handed. So Woo probably thinking about how much will I have left if I call and do not win this pot. And he'll make the call, and Andrew is going to be in bad shape here.
Yeah. Well, he's had good instincts tonight. He's also gotten great cards. But if a queen shows up, it's just going to be a slap in the face.
No matter what happens, have to respect the fact that Andrew's not going to go down without a fight. And
If he
speaking
goes
of, he's
ahead
going to be rewarded with a
and
5
has the
here.
spades.
Just has to fade a jack.
Wow.
And does. So
Oh.
brutal beat there for
Nice,
Woo,
dude,
and Andrew
nice.
in business here with 4.6 million.
And really brings Wu back to the pack.
Yeah, Woo's got to play a bit differently now that he's no longer the chip leader. That'll be Drew to his 7.4, and Andrew's still the short stack, but in much better shape after that double.
That's interesting, Warhead. I get what you're saying, and they're very attractive cards. I just have a tendency to go through card removal thoughts in my head. Okay, you know, that's why I always say that if I'm playing a queen jack like you're talking about, or a suited queen jack, or king 10, or Broadways, I want to hit my bottom pair because I want to have the best possible kicker.
6.
So it's kind of like, how many times does somebody have? I've got king jack and they've got king queen, or they've got ace queen. Or
Yeah, I
ace
mean,
jack.
another good example of that is if you have ace jack. I'd much rather have a jack high flop than an ace high flop.
Yep, totally. You want that top kicker. It totally changes the equity against a lot of good hands. There's the mathematical equity, and then I always say there's the economic equity.
Oh, and Quad's going to rip king queen off, and Woo is getting a little frisky there, trying to steal the blinds with 8 or 6-8.
Yeah, maybe a little irritated by the 5 beating him, which happens a lot in tournaments. When people get short, you get beat by that bottom card.
Yeah, that
he's
can
smart
be
enough to give it up.
Can be tilting. It's a nice move there by Quad.
Yeah, positional move. Which in this level, when you've got 4 players at the table, a lot of people think you kind of go position blind a little bit because you're always, it seems like, in a blind or on the button. Obviously, there's only one person that's not. As Jonathan makes a beautiful appearance,
just like
such an attractive man.
You can just like wait.
as he wants to.
Jonathan, one of our tournament directors, I believe.
Yeah, and Floor, one of my favorite people in any building.
Jack says foreshadowing. So
Foreshadowing of what?
I think
Oh,
we're supposed
Jonathan
to find
showing
out.
up. like the Merchant of Death showed up and walked into the room.
I think they're going to be coloring up some of the chips here, maybe the 25Ks, but Wu going to raise Queen 7 suited, reasonable for this configuration, and Druda will defend Jack 4 off.
Okay, let's do it. Top 2 stacks.
Just has to flick in 300K to play a 1.65 million pot, so
yoink. Well, who's going to rep the ace? I'm guessing he's going to be Wu. He's got early position.
400.
I take it back. He's got late position. Yeah, as soon as you get a check. Sorry, my mouth did not listen to my head.
Druda contemplating a move here. I think he's
If it, it's going to be so strong if he really doesn't believe he has an ace. Yeah,
thinks better of
he
it.
thought better of it. He was thinking cash game thoughts, and this is a tournament. And I got a great lecture from Sam the other night. Not lecture, that makes it sound like she was wise in me, but she's so wise about the difference in how you treat this. It's about treating your chips in a tournament like the extreme commodity that they are. You're never going to go, hey, give me another 300 dealer, in a tournament, obviously. So let's treat them a little more precious than they are if you're playing a lot of cash.
Yeah, the value of retaining chips is higher than outweighs the potential loss of chips.
Well, so I think somebody said it on the chat, or somebody said to me afterwards, one thing you never do in a tournament, you can buy another bullet, but you never say, yeah, I made a big comeback tonight. In reality, you especially if you've gotten deep, like you were in close to bubbling, there's no recovery from making a bad mistake with your chips.
Yeah.
You just go play another game somewhere else.
Yeah, there's no such thing as, well, I think I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'll just rebuy.
No. Or I'm just going to ask the dealer for $300 more.
If you're wrong, you're hitting showers. And we got a clash here. Andrew,
big clash.
King 9 in the big blind, facing just a call from Druda. And Druda maybe trapping here with ace 10.
Yeah,
it would be for all of his, about 2/3 of his chips. So big decision here for Druda.
Now we're starting to play some poker. It's just not all about the hands right now. This is an awareness by Andrew of his chip stack and the opponent's chip stack and the range evaluation of what he could have exactly here.
And Andrew not interested in blinding out of this tournament. He's going to put his opponents to the test. And Druda with the better hand, but not terribly far ahead. It'd be 2-1 favorite if he makes the call.
All right, you got it.
Wow, and lays it down.
I'll be honest with you. A very good fold. Oh, Drew. Oh,
hi, Druda. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, I think that's the same Drew.
Most likely.
Yeah. I'm going to call that a very disciplined fold. I mean, you're looking at just having your stack crushed. I mean, he's
on life support if he calls and loses. So.
Yeah, exactly. You are completely changing your poker game with the stack that's remaining if you lose that hand.
And of course, with 4 left, these pay jumps getting much more significant than early in the final table.
Yeah.
Drew, a 5? Really? A 5?
Bro, I had 6
Like we're
bigs.
lining
That's
up
all
break
8.
here.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna call quicker with that hand.
Yeah,
Would be skipping ahead.
You mean
past the break?
This isn't live?
I don't know if it's. I was calling.
I wish y'all could have seen his face.
We're gonna have
to. Looked at me like you look at a dog when it whines at you. You're like, really, really, you want to go out right now? You want to do
This
that?
did
right
in fact happen in the past, but
I think we skip ahead. I think Coop has the ability, the technology, the knowledge, the skill.
Yeah, no spoilers in the chat if you already know the outcomes here.
Yes, yeah. Please don't do that. We always pretend I don't look at who won
Well, I
purposefully.
obviously could have, but I made the very conscious decision not to do that. So, um, unfortunately, we will not be skipping ahead. We're told here. So,
So after I brag about you, Coop, really? No, actually, this gives Uncle T an opportunity to go out and flirt with the wait staff here and get a Coke Zero. So take a moment. We'll be back. I think it's a 15-minute break.
yeah, 15 minutes. We'll be back here, and Uncle T and I will chime in here and there. I'm going to take a break as well.
You want me to
Flick on the Masters, watch a couple holes, and we'll be back with you for the remainder of this final table.
Go, Rory.
Yeah. Why? Was I supposed to take it off? I made this thickest idea before. I told Ethan to do that. Okay, he calls and then Alex calls and the big one. Ace comes ace, king, ace, turn king, river ace. Oh, wow. Is that sick? I just get super counterfeited. Alex has the king, and fucking the Indian guy on my left has the ace. Sickest fold I've ever. Oh, so sick.
I don't have a weird type. I mean, I can go back there and do it too. Here first.
I wonder if anyone's gonna talk about the top. Everyone, to be fair. Who cares? I already have one. What's up? What I'm breaking? Got 4 mil. Excuse me. Al has 7.
The only changes back there should be the whoever won the race. So it's faster.
Yeah, you're rooting for seat 9, right? You rooting for seat 9, huh?
Yeah. I know. Oh no 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 no.
So you connect.
I find a gutter to get a straight on her yesterday.
I know. I call him talented. I call. No, I call him. Bro, he.
You remember that ace, king, 8, king, ace? Yeah. I folded 8 under the because I was like, oh, he has to go broke soon, so I just fold because ICM.
Dude, that would suck. Oh my god. In the last place.
I know.
That would suck.
Yeah, it was so sick. I was like, I drew this 8. Oh my god! And I fill up, and I'm like, oh my god! And I'm like, oh, there's an ace counter. Like it hit me like so hard. Yeah. I was like, I have to fold because of him. And then just Albert just gets piles from Nixon and
3 out of. Oh yeah, there's ace.
yeah. I was like, I can just click and just rep a big hand. If anything happens, I just fold. I was like, if I can steal here, that'd be great. Albert, you chop?
I'm open to.
Y'all are still working or what? Oh, y'all are? Okay.
Oh, is it updated?
Yeah. Can I get this banana and a Reese's?
Point though, right?
Huh?
Kind of no point though, right? we
Yeah,
all
because
gonna hit
everyone.
You're the only one?
Huh?
We're gonna hit over 5.
I know.
Players got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't.
Yeah,
It really doesn't.
Oh, well, how much is
Because,
it?
like,
so close.
yeah, it really doesn't.
Yeah, I was thinking like, if it's
Okay, yeah, give me some
if it's
change
top,
back. Yes.
Top 2, is it like?
Maybe just like, or you got it.
Are we gonna lock
Yeah,
up
no
11?
problem.
No, but that's like
Have a good night.
even chop. So.
But I might need like water.
top
Do
three
you have
is like-
water?
I'm gonna look at it right now.
22,
Thank you.
28,
And I'll just be like sitting up
29
there.
for a top 3. There's like 10. He's like,
Yeah, it's
it's
really not that big of a deal. I was just wondering, like, if there's any room to do
yeah.
anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like roughly 7, 5, 6, 1, 6, 1, 4.
It's really so close. It's like
All right, folks, we'll be
chop is 80.
having the players rejoin the table here in a minute or two. Looks like we have some lively debate about the previous hand where
I get up to
Druda limped in the
7,500.
small blind with ace 10.
The 6 mil
Shoved on by
84,
Tran.
86,
Andrew
and
Tran, the Tranimal, and laid it down.
Oh, this is the chop number right there.
Yeah, he
Even chops up.
He's like, they're talking about a chop, let's throw this.
He's got 6 mil. Jack got 6 mil.
Jack, you got 6 now?
Oh no, I'm saying John.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You have 7 over there?
That's 6.
6, 7.
Oh, he's got 7.
You have 7 now?
7.1. Oh,
I got
Oh,
all
yes,
6,
sir.
right?
6, you have 7.
you have 6.
You have
You
7.
counting it?
Oh, I have 7.
Or you just can tell?
It's online.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
can
have
see it?
7.1.
So 4 players left of
You
343.
can see it online.
Woo in the chip lead here, 7.7. Excuse me, 7.1 million. Druda, 6.2. Quad right there, 6 million. And Andrew, just under 5 million. So pretty fair fight here going to the
no, he moved
second
it
hour
there.
of this final table.
He's trying to hide his cards.
Yeah. When did you do it? This morning? I mean, yesterday, last night? Drink tea alone?
400. So he shuffle up the table.
Slide the trophy to him because he won it.
Yeah. Oh,
We just put that.
I literally just installed that belt myself.
I know, I saw.
Well, folks, we have had a big first half of the football game.
Yeah,
Lots
it
of
was
turnovers, lots of
Yeah.
big hits, you know.
some pick sixes.
Yeah, some pick sixes is right. Some
You really want to
Rushing rivers.
Doesn't it add a little bit?
as we play hand number 29.
Woo here with ace
Out
7.
there right now.
Druda laid down ace 7.
Pretty good hand for the small
already.
blind.
Yeah, pretty good hand, small blind. He's going to try to put some pressure on quad.
Pretty good hand in the big blind.
You just have to simply inject yourself into something.
You thinking about coming over the top here? No.
Yeah, I think you just got a flat.
Yeah.
If flat or fold, but blind's now up to 400K, so 993 ace high still good here.
Aces feel pretty good that, you're just fading the 9 really.
Where on Poker Hours?
So he's going to make a continuation bet.
Yeah, on this board with ace high, the C bet's
Under tournament tabs, there's
probably going to work a high percentage of the time.
Yep.
and then there's like a little poker chip.
And we, having played with Blue like we have, he's such a smart player. He's like,
Only places that
the range of my opponent here, both of us being in the blind, is the ace is almost always ahead. You get a flop like that, you're going to maneuver it. You also, not that it was crucial, but you had a diamond yourself. Again, the card removal thoughts go so completely different four-handed. Your fold equities change, your aggression frequencies change. There's so many things that change four-handed. Yeah, I agree, Warhead. 14 big blinds is still pretty deep. And this stack preservation that Sam was talking about the other night is critical.
Yeah, and there's something to be said also, and I think it's part of the point Warhead's making in the chat, is sometimes you may believe you're ahead but only have a slight edge. And if you feel like you have time to pick a better spot, there's
going to be opportunities.
Yeah, there's going to be opportunities. And
especially four-handed when your range of stronger hands is expanded so much.
And you have the ICM pressure. Just having a chip in a chair could win you some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Andrew raising up clubs. Jack 7. Druda with the better clubs here. We'll go to a flop. Ace Ace 6.
We've seen that before.
Just one club.
Pre-flop aggressor always is take a lead on a flop like that. One-third pot bet. Actually, 1/4 pot bet.
And nice move there by Andrew.
Yeah. Another very, very smart player.
So he will chip up now north of 5 million, or excuse me, north of 6 million.
What? Look at the big brains in our chat. I mean, we're getting. You see what I'm seeing? It's like Wendy's coming down with this whole.
Well, this is
thing that you were talking about.
This is fun too. Yeah, glad to have the in-chat debates on.
Yeah, I hate it when y'all
spots.
saying smarter things than I'm saying. It really is hard on my ego. Of course, I don't say a lot of smart things. At least that's what the former Mrs. Gardner says.
Queen 5 out of there for Wu and quad with ace deuce. Any ace pretty valuable at this point. Four-handed and shallow. Quad with 11.5 bigs. He's going to raise it up to 800K.
Dude fairly quickly decides that suited
and
one
Andrew's
jabber.
looking down at an ace and a beautiful squeeze opportunity.
And look at the equity on this hand with 5-3 clubs. Yeah. You are never thinking you have that much pre-flop. Now, Andrew could mess up everybody's plans here, regardless of equities, by being strong on this, but he gives it up.
Yeah, so I think that's very interesting and worth pointing out. I mean, it shows how thinking of a player Andrew is. Obviously, we know he had the same hand as quad, but he is facing a button open, and any ace is going to dominate him, except for the one he's tied with there that quad has. Pretty unfortunate flop for Drew to suited 5-3, and I think this c-bet from quad
Yeah.
is going to work.
Yeah, he's got the gut shot. He's got the overcard. Although it's difficult to bet into this for me because this is hitting so much of the range that I was kind of repping but got called by. So much more often that Druda's going to have one of these three cards. And if he has one of these three cards, can he even get away with this or away from this?
Druda out of there. Quad will take that one down. Pretty nice pot.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Wendy. I think the ace-10 is... Yeah, I get you. I'm not gonna, if I say anything else, it's going to sound a little judgmental. I don't like to do that. These players are so much better than me.
Well, they were very different situations, too. All he had to do was flick in a little more than, well, he already had half a big blind in there, so.
Right.
Much different than calling off 2/3 of your stack, but.
As much as I hate Jack-6, I like Jack-8 suited a lot. Jack-9 I like a lot better. Something about that hand that just appeals to me, especially in clubs.
Make some sneaky,
funny how
strong
you play
hands.
so many thousands of hands or whatever trillion I've in my age that I've played. You get a feel for hands in your mind, in your heart. I don't know which part of me. Maybe it's a little lower. Certain hands make a reaction, make me want to raise. And he's going to get this through.
Speaking of raising, yeah, quad min raises it, and he'll take down another pot. So 2 hands in a row, and quad up over 7 million suddenly.
I agree with you, Warhead. I think ace jack and ace queen makes that call. I think they find that call. Not on the previous hand, but on the hand we were talking about before. So as you can see, nobody's real short right now. We have leveled out into double up takes the lead.
Yeah, the two players with just 10 bigs, but the other consideration here, it's not the same as just your average only 10 bigs because they both have stacks that can really wound their opponents. So
this
fold
is,
equity is still high.
Yeah, this is a point where I really start thinking about the under the gun position so much differently, even 5 or 6 handed, because the pot is so big. Now you don't want to walk into a bear trap as Wu just floats.
Yeah, a million chips in every pot here.
Looks like we're gonna have a call to 2.8 in the pot. Who hits it? Open ender for quads.
Big flop for the 10-8.
Yeah, big flop. Not much for anybody else.
Andrew,
he does check it.
Bottom pair, backdoor diamonds. See what he wants to do here.
Yeah.
Oh, and Andrew turns trips.
You went from being slightly dogged to the 10-8 to being, 9-1.
Massive favorite here. And Wu's going to bet into him with ace high.
Yeah, he just doesn't believe anybody could have a 4 here. But you're playing against, you definitely don't think the button does. You're playing against the blind. And when quad gets away from this, Wu's going to feel a lot better of his move here.
Is a small enough bet quad could go ahead and call and try to see a river here? If he binks it on the river, he's getting huge odds.
So you're thinking, obviously, with a rainbow board. I'm not worried about much, but do you want to make that bet a little bit bigger?
If you're Wu?
Yeah.
Well, he did it earlier and it worked where he made a smallish bet, and got the fold. It only has to work a small percentage at the time, and he's going to be raised here by quad. And now, what is Andrew going to do? He's just seen a bet and a raise.
I think he has to shove here.
Yeah, I think he probably
for the very reason that the hand is, which is the 10-8 There's not much else. I mean, it could be 10 queen,
Yeah.
but yeah,
He's just going to Hollywood a moment, and then the chips are going in here.
he may be thinking about, if I float this, do I get, because Wu was the aggressor, do I get him in this hand as well? Yeah, he does push it all in. Wow. So you're looking at 3 hands that you would, again, never expect to get this pot up around 10 million, but they did because of the way it rolled out. So are you pot committed at this point?
Yeah, gross spot here for quad.
I mean, you're thinking he's got 4 million behind, so he's going to hate having to fold this hand. At the same time, he's got 4 million behind.
Pretty tough to call off that many chips with a draw and just the river card to come.
I mean, you look at what his outs are. I don't really understand why only the 7s are showing up here, but you might be thinking this.
I think maybe we already had some queens.
We had a queen,
fold, possibly, but yeah, at least
2,
one.
But there still would be a queen. He's going to give it up.
Quad's going to give it up, and
I think that's the safest, best option on a hand where you really want to win this pot because of its size. So Wu is going to jump. Andrew's going to jump way out ahead. He's now got basically twice the 3rd and 4th place chips. Again, we're at the point, we talked about this the other night when we had the chop. Terry and I forget the other gentleman's name, chopped, and there was $30,000 in play on the first and second chop. A lot of people didn't like it or told me they didn't like it. I thought it was perfectly legit by Terry because it just was the stack levels were just where one double up, and now you're the chip leader by 2x.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it can flip flop quick when the blinds are this big. Wendy called out, so yeah, you can sometimes overlook things here, Wendy. Yeah, the queens were dead because that would have boated up Andrew, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking, Wendy, too.
Sometimes I get caught up in looking at the graphics because it does do card removal for some folds. So good call out there, Wendy. But.
So pretty big flop for Wu. Fortunately, his opponent has nothing. He may check this just because he's so strong and it's a rainbow board. Smart play. Still nothing. I mean, a 9, a gutter for Druda. I think he's got a bet here. Maybe a min bet. 6 to 800,000. Try to get a little more value out of it. Does make an 800K bet. And he does get snapped. Just looking for that savage 9 on the river. Doesn't get it. Although that may keep Wu from betting in case he was playing third pair. I think he'll be happy to take 3.8 here.
Yeah, big pot.
The last thing you want in the world is to bet and then get jammed on. It's like another 800K. No, a full 1 million. Drew just going to take a little time to see the damage and then give his cards up.
Yeah, and this is going to put Druda on life support. He'll have just 5 bigs and a little change.
Yeah, I'm not going to criticize because I make that call a lot with a gut shot if I don't feel like but the position you just put yourself in is a lot more tenuous. Now he was already kind of there, but that's 3 million you have instead of 2.2 million.
And Warhead says, love the flop check. I completely agree. You flop huge. That's a massive hand in this setup. So
rainbow board.
Yeah, check it. Try to get your opponent to catch up at least a little bit, which did happen. He turned the draw, and so extracted some more value with that check. If he just leads out there, that's the end of the hand and
Yeah.
costs himself some value.
There's a hand that cost me right before we came into the booth. King deuce of spades. By the way, folks, like I mentioned earlier, we do have our mega stack going on right now. Just saw a couple people coming in. We're joining the tournament. So if you feel like playing, definitely come in. And Andrew takes that one down, wins 600K. Reminder of where we're at right now. We got 4 players, so next person out is going to earn 4,000 in tips. Third, 6270. Second, 9750, and of course 13880. If nobody brings up the C word, the word that I hate the most in poker.
Yeah, pretty massive difference finishing 4th versus 1st, almost 10K. So, ton left to play for here for these 4 players. Woo will chip up there, just 9-7 off.
Two out in front and 2 in the danger zone. I agree. If it's a 4-letter word, don't say it.
Yeah, drew to 2 orbits from blinding out, so very unfortunate to look down at 4 high. But he'll be having to pay 800,000 of his 2 million on the next hand. Jack in chat says wants some custom sunglasses that say no chops, no deals. That would probably save a lot of whining and discussion.
Yeah, I tell people all the time at the old building and here too, when the dealers play a tournament, use the weekly or whatever, I always tell them when we get down, I say, if you don't want to chop, you just give me a little sign. Because I don't mind being the one saying, no chops, no deals. Just because these are their clients that they're playing with, so they don't like to be the one. And I think very, very smart. But I also, I don't want them to if they don't want to chop.
Yeah.
Now there's certain people that we all know at the table. My buddy Rob, he'd never chop it, so don't even start the conversation.
Interesting setup here. The 2 big stacks with some playable hands. So a raise from Andrew under the gun with King 9, and Woo is going to make the call. Pair of 3s, quad out of there. And Drew to King Jack, and he's got almost 40% of his chips are in the middle already.
Getting shipped here pretty quick. The question is whether Woo, as he goes all in.
And Druta's going to make a stand.
Yeah, and this is where Andrew hates being in between these 2 guys. Although he snaps it off pretty quick.
Oh, gotcha. No stress.
And now the question is whether Woo. Well, he didn't.
Well, both players very incentivized to have Druta exit stage left, so
Thank you.
it's not
they may check
collusion,
it
but
down.
it is smart.
Just
play
for that
it.
reason. Woo is way out in front now. Still out in front now. Now he's 3-1 to the field.
Druta down to his final card, and
the 9.
9 gets there for Andrew.
Wow. So Andrew
what a
comes
river
from behind. They did check it down, which you're very motivated to do. Wow.
plan.
So
Yes, sir. Good plan.
Druta
Yes,
goes
sir.
out in
Good
4th
plan with
place.
that. Good job, bro. Good job. Y'all be safe. Yes, sir.
So he's going to take home $4,040.
Yes,
Great
sir.
tournament by Druta. Congratulations to him and all of our players that made the final table. As we get down to our final 3, a total of 28,000, 29,000 in the mix right now. Great tournament. big 343 entries. This is the TGIF tournament. I want to remind everybody we have this tournament every Friday.
Yeah, it's a great setup for a tournament. It's deep enough stacked that there's some playability, but it
Add-ons.
only lasts one day, so you can get it all.
Yes, it goes
Done.
late, but since they started this tournament, we have not had an overlay once. So that's how much people like it, how much value they see in it, and how much fun it is. And for $140, it's got the right price point. I love the fact that they did that with this tournament and just raised the min, the guarantee. As we look at our chip stacks, Andrew way out in front now. He's got twice Woo. He's basically got 4x, 4.5 on quad. Quad's going to start thinking really hard about his hands, rightfully so.
Yeah, and Andrew in a great spot here to really lean on these players, including Woo. Woo is highly incentivized not to get in trouble until quad is eliminated or doubles up. So see how that dynamic plays out.
You saw quad there with his like crap. The last thing you want on your free hand is to get crappy cards or cards you can't play. You're like, because you know that even just making a min raise in the position on the button three-handed, you appear so strong.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can also be frustrating too when you're going to be ready to put it all in with a relatively wide range and just somehow cannot get a hand strong enough. But
and now Andrew has the free cards.
Found money. We found
You know, I've never heard a dealer encourage players to chop it. I don't know where that happened. I can honestly say I've never heard a dealer encourage players to chop it. I know there was an incident where I played with a young man. Used to come here quite a bit, especially the old building. I don't see him as much anymore. It was final 2, and he would not chop, even though I had 4x on him. And it was keeping a dealer at Card House that longer. They couldn't cut somebody. And I know that was not popular, and I tried to talk him into it because I was trying to be aware of the dealer offering to ICM. And let's just say when I won it, I tipped that dealer that had to stick around a lot longer.
so raise here from Woo. Price of poker has gone up 300, 600,000. So Woo will min raise to 1.2 and get a call from Andrew. Will defend his big blind. 7-7 Jack proves neither player. Andrew's still good here with King High, and it will check to a turn. Woo really handcuffed. If he tries to take a stab at this and doesn't get it through, he's very handcuffed. And King High improves to a pair of deuces. And very small bet from Andrew will work. Great to be the man with the big stack, and he's up over 14.5 million.
So, Jack, are we under the impression that you're the Cowboy fan? Is that what I'm getting?
I believe Jack must be quad.
I think that Jack has got tremendous, first of all, talent and discretion and understanding and depth in his hat choice, specifically his fashion choice, and the team he supports.
And he has jammed queen 5 here, and looks like he'll take down the blind. So
Yeah.
that's
Yep, good move.
1.5 million.
Yeah, they're so huge right now at 600, 600, 300 that, it's.
In fact, that gets him. Wu is suddenly the short stack
Yeah.
for the first time that I can recall.
Hey, this is such an ebb and flow game in a final table, especially shorthanded. And we saw Alex, who is the chip leader, essentially the chip leader, coming in the final table, have a bad run and be gone really quick. Now we're just in that who catches the wave in the face first.
And Andrew does just as
The same hand.
he's kind of thinking he's just going to rip it and put a ton of pressure on these two players. They're relatively even, but the next man out.
And he play a little bit of big stack bully.
Yeah, it's pay jump from third to second, not insignificant, and Andrew knows that. So that will get him up to almost 16 million now, and he has more than or nearly 2-1 on Quad and Wu combined.
You know, a really good poker player told me when I had a huge stack, I think it was 6-handed, now don't try to be sheriff. And I kind of listened to that for a little bit, but I also thought to myself, you know what? The most successful sheriffs in the Old West were the ones with the quick draw. So don't be also afraid, be a little bit of a Wyatt Earp. So ace-10 faces ace-8.
Yeah,
it's hard to deal with, like you say, short-handed, Warhead. Although Quad is launching.
Yeah, I can't blame Quad
I don't
for
either.
the call here. He looks down at a decent ace, 3-handed, and getting shorter and shorter.
So you want to hit an ace here or see 3 diamonds. I'm sorry, 3 clubs. And we're not seeing the cards right now. We apologize for that. Yeah. Did we chop? I'm trying to see.
It sounds like Quad may have made a straight.
With the 8. With the at the bottom end? Sorry, we cannot see the cards, folks. I would say by the reaction, yes, he made the low end straight.
Yeah, somebody made a
8.
straight. I heard somebody call that out, but
okay.
I think
Quad looks like he's in church. Lord Jesus, thank you for that hand. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Wu's going to be on life support now.
Wow, that's such a just rawness. We've had a couple of those tonight where the bottom end got there. Yep, the 10.
Oh, wow, and it was
gutter.
And Wu even blocked it.
He did. Oh, my gosh.
So now 9 million for Quad, and hand somewhat played itself. Can't blame either player for how they played it. And
nobody's ever going to say 3-handed. You should fold that.
There was about a 20% chance of a chop pre-flop.
Yep. Yeah, especially after the flop. I mean, you could have gotten the queen there. I think chops also. No, the 2 still needed the 10. Sorry, we didn't see the cards very well.
So Wu is auto all in here. He's got 8 high.
Yeah, for 700 grand, or well, less than that, obviously. And they let him have it. No, we got a call. Andrew's never going to call.
He didn't have. He couldn't cover the big blind, so
yeah,
Andrew, it's an auto all in.
It doesn't matter. And 10 high is good. 10 high is still good, and 10 high wins. Actually, 2 pair.
So Wu will exit in 3rd place. Very nicely played by Wu.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. He got the club draw as well on the turn on that hand. So we're going to look now at the top. Nope. Don't bring up the C word. I don't want to hear it.
No one's doing half-handed anymore.
So now we're looking at the top 2 as Wu goes out in 3rd place, taking home $62.70. Now about a little over $25,000. I do that math, but I grew up in East Texas. You do that math in your head? Add those 2?
23,000-ish left.
23? See, I think I went to 25. Yeah, you can't substitute for a really poor public school education. So 6270. Nope. Sorry, folks. Trying to get back to the action.
Oh,
Sevens.
This could be it right away. Andrew raises king 3 suited on the button, and Quad's going to wake up with somewhat of a dream hand on first hands of heads up. He's got sevens, and he'll rip it. And this is for now a big chunk of Andrew's stack.
Yep. It's serious poker now, folks.
Andrew would have less than 10 bigs left if he makes this call and does not improve. Forehead did the math for us. Yeah, 23-6.
I'm going to give you credit for that, even though I'm sure you were putting it into your phone. I started to pick up my phone, but
looks like Andrew made the fold here incorrectly, and Quad now up over 10 million, so the gap shrinking significantly on the first hands of heads up.
yeah, and we're basically playing, the big stack is playing for a 10% bump every flop. I mean, every hand. So with 1.5 in, this ain't going to be over till it's over.
Suited queen here for Quad. He'll raise it up to 1.6, and Andrew wakes up with the Cowboys.
I almost said last hand on the sevens, how long has it been since we've seen a pair, much less a premium pair? And there it is.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
2.8.
And Andrew elects to 3-bet, but not all in. So what Quad wants to do here, if he folds, still has 9 million left.
Sure, that's what he's thinking about right at this moment.
Speaking of dream spots, Quad with sevens, I said that, and then Andrew, the very next hand, gets
Kings.
the second best hand ever created.
Yeah, I hate it, especially heads up, but I give this up. This is just too strong a move, especially a min bet like this. Where you go from 1.6 to 2.8. I think that's what we were looking at. You're hoping here that the Quad has a pretty good ace. Yeah, he does give it up. Queen 5 looks pretty. It's a raising hand. Totally get it heads up, but also easy to give up.
It's a nice hand for Andrew. Quad takes a hit, but he's still well in business.
Yeah. I mean, every hand somebody's going to take a hit.
Think about this is a little less than a 2-1 chip lead, but in one hand, the chip lead to 2-1 can completely flip-flop. So Andrew now with an ace 7. It looks like he's just going to rip it.
Keeping the pressure on. He's done it consistently when he's had the bigger stack. Oh, mommy, this would be so hard for me to give up for just the reason that this is right here. A lot of times it's a 55-45 flip. Now, again, I understand the fold because you're not that short. Another couple of hands, I wouldn't do that if I was Andrew. I mean, you're just too often putting yourself in a position to lose a hand that sucks to lose, very much like Wu lost, where it just really sucks to lose.
Well, and you also have to put your head in, or your try to get into Andrew's head a little bit there. You have enough chips. He's not just completely willy-nilly ripping
Yeah.
for your whole stack. He's going to have aces or an ace at least, or a king a lot of the time.
Quad gives up the small blind. So we have gone through the first 4 or 5 eliminations fairly fast, settled in, if you haven't been with us, and then went through a pretty fast 1, 2, 3 to get down to the final 2. And these two are battling out. Don't hear that dreaded word. Looks like he's going to do it again with King 4.
Yeah, suited King 4. GTO would definitely support this move.
And good fold by Quad. He was dominated. Obviously, 10-4 is not that hard to fold, but he's going to, at some point, we were talking about this in the cash game because Optimize was, you were in here with me, correct, for the cash game? Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I've slept since then. You know how Kevin kept 4-betting Optimize, and Optimize was sitting there thinking, dang, is he just like picking on me? Is he just like
right.
is he getting, well, we knew, and he knows now, that Kevin was just getting tremendous hands. As Quad decides to rip the 8-5.
Yeah, I had to take a stand.
Yeah, he did. He kind of was
point.
like, okay, this is. And
Andrew makes a call, suited Jack 4, and
wow.
He's going to be ahead here.
So this could be the final hand. I want more poker. Let's throw an 8 out there.
I feel like Quad may take this one down. We're about to prove that we do not know the results yet. Jack High's still good.
Oh, 2 hearts. Wow. But a 5 is ahead. Oh, by the skin of his chin.
Quad will get the double and actually take the chip lead here. Nearly even stacks, both players with around 12 million. And this may bring up the word of the day, or the non-word of the day, chop, but doesn't look like either player is interested in talking. Play on.
Well, yep, now we're back to tennis. It's not King of the Hill anymore. You ever play King of the Hill? Are you too young for that?
I know, I remember it existing, but I don't remember playing it.
Broke my cousin's arm playing King of the Hill. Unfortunately for him, we were poor, and all we had was the monkey bars to play King of the Hill on. So, although it was kind of fun to watch him bounce back and forth to the bottom.
And Quad, after the double up,
wow.
He's going to wake up with 9s here. After Andrews raised the button with just 10 high,
and he's going to give a little medicine back to Andrew. Of course, he's going to get snap folded, but yeah, I like that. You know, I agree with you. It is kind of a who knows how to play heads up, and there's certainly skills to it. But there's another factor at the table, and he's wearing a headphone, and he's got the deck of cards in his hand. So, I mean, the Ducks for Quad.
Yeah, I think Quad's just going to have to rip it. He's got a pair.
Yeah, the value of any pair just magnifies so much at this stage.
Looks like he's just going to raise. This a little bit dangerous because obviously
there are going to be 2. You know, that's what I say about deuces. There are always going to be 2 or 3 overcards on the flop.
Yeah, I mean and Andrew just rips and.
Wow, this is a true
classic coin flip here.
Yeah, the most dramatic of the coin flips. If he did ace king, it'd be a little bit more dramatic.
And this is essentially going to determine the winner because even if Quad loses, he'll only have 3.4 and a set.
Doggy in the window and a boat. It's over. Wow. Oh
and
my god.
Quad will be the TGIF champion.
That wasn't there was no running out a clean board with that hand. That was doggy in the window. bowed on the turn.
Yeah, very standard heads up, shallow, ace-9 versus deuces and quad, making the
Wow.
boat, and he will take it down.
Congratulations, Quad. Wow, that was a dramatic turnaround in the last 5 or 6 hands.
So 13,880 for quad.
And we got a
little noise in the background
Yeah,
there, maybe a little celebration.
I think that was
But-
interference. We're probably picking
okay.
up somebody else's signal.
But yeah, actually, somewhat amazing. Actually, played with both of these players earlier in the tournament, so maybe I have the Midas touch of some kind. But
Wow.
Congratulations to Quad and Andrew. Well played, of course, coming in second, and that will add to his win total
Tip and
for
his
this
dealer-
Trailblazer tour.
which I always am a big fan of. Tip them well. They worked hard. Great job, our dealer tonight. Was in the box for the whole 2 hours. Yeah, almost exactly 2 hours.
They have the hardest job at the table. Got to call the action and deal the cards. So that'll wrap things up from TCH Social Austin.
Thanks, everybody. This has been the TGIF 40K guaranteed Atlas Poker. I'm sorry, not Atlas. Trailblazer Poker Tour. And Quad takes it down. Congratulations to him and all of our players, all 343 of them, and those that made the final table. This is Uncle T, and you are who?
I'm Kyle Frisbee. Thanks for being with us today, and we'll be back with you with some streams coming up this very next week.
Yeah, we've got one tomorrow. As a matter of fact, we've got a stream for our final tournament of the Trailblazer Poker Tour here at TCH Social in Austin.